a Look, the podcast bringing back a personal pop culture recommendation with Rin and Roger.
Revving up your engine, listen to a howling roar. Welcome everyone to Give It a Look podcast. It's another now showing episode. Today we are talking Top Gun Maverick, and we just want to give a little flag that this is a full spoiler review. So if you've not seen Top Gun Maverick, you might want to turn the volume down to 0 right now. My name is Roger. I'm here with my co-host Rin. And Rin, you and I saw Top Gun Maverick separately, so I unfortunately wasn't able to see how sweaty and panty you got when the male volleyball scene came on. How was that for you?
It was good. I saw it the Saturday after it opened on a Thursday here. I went to the drive-ins and yes, that was probably one of my favourite scenes in the film. Thank God for TikTok as well, because I get to keep reliving it.
People sneaking in phones. Well, this has been an absolute smash hit around the world, hasn't it?
It's huge. The biggest movie. I keep talking about it too, like patients at my work as well. I'm like, have you seen Top Gun Maverick yet? Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Because in my work, I have to have small talk. Like instead of the weather, I ask them about Top Gun instead.
Yeah, it's hard to believe this is coming 36 years after the original. And this film was pretty much done pre-pandemic or during the pandemic and has really just been waiting and waiting and waiting to unleash its full fury. So what were your kind of opening or general thoughts?
So firstly, I liked the opening scene was very same as the original, the 1986 version. And I really liked that because it's kind of like an homage to that. I just thought this movie was just amazing. I would have actually really loved to have seen it at IMAX, to be honest. I saw it at the drive-ins, which it still was fantastic. That's a massive screen as well. So I'm in my car. I'm not usually one to make noises or to move much, but I was like at the edge of my seat, hands on my steering wheel, and I was just like, making weird noises because I was so engaged in this film. Like I just was blown away. I'm lost for words. Like that's how much I really enjoyed this film. But what did you think? What were your kind of opening thoughts?
Yeah, look, I've heard people use the phrase legacy sequels for films like this. So what we're talking is sequels that are coming along, 20, 30 years down the line. So there's quite a gap between them and what came before. And honestly, I think we have to put this one up there with Blade Runner 2049 and one of my favourites, Mad Max Fury Road, in kind of the upper echelon of these legacy sequels.
Don't forget Shrek 2.
What a legacy, am I right?
Hey, that's one of the best sequels of all time. Come on, you got to admit.
I need a hero. I probably enjoy the subject matter of the Blade Runner 2049 and Mad Max more than I did this one. But even still, this really takes everything that was a strength or iconic about the original and just doubles down on it. It's very sentimental. It's very romantic. I've referred to it as the most romantic film of the year. And what we're talking about is the romance really between Tom Cruise and cinema itself. He's given it all here, and I guess the journey of the character Maverick, this kind of old head in the Navy who's trying to show these new pilots how to fly this impossible mission, is just kind of indicative of a Hollywood veteran. Yeah.
He didn't want to use CGI for any of the aerial shots, so it was all in actual planes. I think they were renting the planes from the Navy for about over $11,000 an hour as well. That's a lot of moolah.
We've talked a lot about practical effects versus CGI on this show and how practical effects, they always age better. And it's just incredible the amount of access that they were able to have for these cockpit shots. I was definitely getting a lot of sweaty palms, especially during the finale, which is genuinely exhilarating,
Oh, 100%. What I loved about this movie is there was a good ending. Do you know what I mean? Everything ended well. It was really high anxiety, but at the end, it all worked out fine. Everyone wants a good ending. Do you know what I mean? You don't want people to die. You don't want bad things to happen. So it was nice. I left the film feeling really good and just thinking, wow, I haven't left a movie for so long thinking that was amazing. That was phenomenal. Maybe one of the Harry Potter movies yonks ago, but when we went and saw The Batman, I just kind of was like, oh yeah, that was okay. I didn't leave feeling like, wow.
A real cinematic, widescreen, massive audio event, and I think it's great that so many people have connected with it. For the record, I don't have much of a connection to the original Top Gun, but obviously generationally, I think it sent tongues wagging. I think it has a lot of appeal for both men and women, the original.
I really enjoyed the original film as well. You kind of take it for what it is as well. In 1986, it was very well done for its time. Just amazing what technology has achieved in that time. I wanted to bring up the notable cast, how good. You got your Tom Cruise, John Hamm, Jennifer Connelly.
Woof.
Miles Teller. Even, Val Kilmer made an appearance, which they weren't sure about because of his declining health. And Ed Harris. Haven't seen him for a while. The place I can think of is The Truman Show, when he played Christoph all those many years ago.
The creator. Yeah. I thought it did a great job of explaining the stakes. Films have to explain what the stakes are for the ultimate climax of the film, and, showing that this was basically, a suicide mission that they weren't expecting any of the pilots to come back from. The way that it portrayed the G-force that was on these pilots as they're trying to do these training runs. That's what really gets you excited, because you realise what you're staring down the barrel of. I thought it was also funny that the bad guys, if you like, it's never really mentioned where they're from. Obviously there's an interesting global event happening at the moment. So, I don't know how particular Hollywood films want to be about who the US Navy is fighting. What do you feel about Tom Cruise, in general? He's obviously a bit of a polarising figure.
I think he's a great actor, great movies and things like that. From what I've seen on interviews, everyone says he's the nicest guy and this and that, but there's obviously some other stuff in the background to do with his ex-wives, Nicole Kidman and Katie Holmes, maybe a controlling part as well. I don't know him. I don't know him as a person, and, I don't know the backstories of things, but, there's some things that are quite questionable, I suppose. Yeah.
Look, I actually love the guy as a film star. I mean, there is a fair bit of stank on him for things happening out of it. But, just gives his all.
Have you ever noticed, in movies, he's always shown at, the side, because his teeth are not directly below his nose. They're, out of alignment, they're slightly shifted to another side. So take notice of that next time.
I'm not going to be able to unsee it now. That reminds me, I heard someone say on a podcast that for some of the films nowadays, if you watch them in a high enough resolution, you can see, mask marks on actors' faces because they have to wear masks in between takes.
Oh, really? Sounds like me after work.
Yeah. No, what a sign of the times. The Val Kilmer stuff was quite touching, I thought. The way that they wrote in, his own battle with throat cancer into the film, and actually apparently, recreated his voice using AI. He does talk for a little bit. I was just so surprised that it just played such a straight bat, such a confident straight back of saying we're leaning in, like I said, to the romance, the sentimentality, the bonding experience, for better or worse, that it is to be in the armed forces with other people and to be brothers and sisters in arms or whatever. It puts this character who's just seems indestructible and puts him up against the hardest task you could ever face down, and just puts him through his paces and then says, okay, that'll do, boy. You've done your work. You're passing it on to the next generation.
100%. Like I said, I keep talking about it. It's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you cry. It's going to make you feel things. That's what you want from a good movie as well. We talked about these big movies, and this one actually, I think, hit the spot. The budget was $170 million, and it's made over $1 billion. Already, it's only been out for a month. Amazing.
This is well worth your time, and I'm going to slap a give it a look rating on it as well, because if I compare this to No Time to Die, right? Another film that got delayed because of the pandemic. This was just so much better.
I feel like James Bond has been done. Do you know what I mean? People know what's going to happen as well. And it hasn't been 36 years since the last one.
Take a break, Jimmy. Take a break. So it sounds like you're saying give it a look as well?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a look.
Brilliant. Well, there you go, guys. It's a mutual give it a look from us. Top Gun Maverick is still in wide release nationwide. Obviously, check your local for session times. That's us for now. We have a brand new way of supporting this podcast. If you're interested, you can now buy us a coffee using the coffee link in our episode description. But otherwise, we will see you in late August. Rin, anything to sign off with?
I feel the need for speed. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.